Hello everyone, I'm JG and welcome back to my channel, where today we're reviewing the Linkin Park and Jay-Z collaborative EP, Collision Course. Alright folks, so before I get into this actual review of this EP here today, I just want to remind anyone who may be new to my channel that I'm reviewing all of Linkin Park's albums here on my channel, as well as some of the remix albums that they put out, and of course this EP here that we're talking about today. So if you're a Linkin Park fan and that sounds like something that might interest you, there's a playlist that I have with all my Linkin Park related content in it that's going to be linked down in the description below, and it should be up on screen here at the end of the video. You can click on that and it'll take you right to the playlist if you want to keep watching some Linkin Park content after this video finishes. But now that I got that out of the way, let's just start off with this review of this EP here. But this isn't a Linkin Park project, this is also just as much a Jay-Z project. Now when it comes to Jay-Z and my familiarity with his works, of course I am familiar with his works. Honestly, I'm not quite as big a fan as him as some people are, of course. I am familiar with his works, like I said before, especially the songs that are present here on this EP. But of course, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan ever. I don't like him quite as much as some other people do, but I do definitely respect the guy. I definitely do understand why some people do really like him, and you know, a collaborative project between him and Linkin Park is something that, of course, is something that I would, you know, pay good money to see. And of course, here looking at the final result now, it definitely did turn out as good as I would imagine it to be. Now, of course, going into this kind of EP here, excuse me if I'm simply mostly referring to Linkin Park here, because they're the group I'm more familiar with in this pairing here, but Linkin Park were coming off their second studio album, Meteora, which had been released the year prior. Of course, that was also a very successful album, just like their first album, Hybrid Theory, and of course, they decided, I guess, to put out this EP with Jay-Z that's pretty much just taking some of their songs and mashing them up together. That's pretty much what you get here. For 6 tracks, you get 2 songs getting mashed together, with the exception of the last track, which features 2 Linkin Park songs and a Jay-Z song getting mashed together. More talk about that later, but it's a pretty simple formula here, and you know, you might stop and think to yourself, is that something that you think would really sound good, like Linkin Park over Jay-Z beats, or Jay-Z rapping over Linkin Park like instrumentals? Do you really think that would sound good? And the answer to that question is yes, actually it does sound pretty good, because what we get here, for the most part, does sound very good, and it does sound actually pretty natural for the most part. I thought it would be a bit jarring, or a bit, you know, all over the place, kind of like they're trying to force the sound, like, you know, forcing the Linkin Park vocals over a Jay-Z beat that doesn't really work or something like that, or the other way around. I was kind of fearing that that might be the case, but that's not really what you get here. I guess they just happen to pick songs that work well for each other, and that's just instantly kind of shown by the first opening track here. That first track being a combination of Jay-Z's Dirt Off Your Shoulder and Linkin Park's Lying From You. And, you know, it's just a very good song and a great way to start off the project. It's one of the stronger songs here on this 6-song EP. I especially like hearing Jay-Z rapping over, like, these sort of new metal-y instrumentals, because it's just kind of funny to think about, because that's not something that he would ever really kind of be rapping over on, like, a normal project of his or something like that, or even, like, a normal guest feature that he would probably be featured on. But to hear him over, like, these really kind of heavier-sounding beats is just kind of something that you're not really going to find anywhere else, and it's just really fun to listen to. And he does a good job here as well, of course. Of course, much of the lyrics and stuff just being taken from his song here, just kind of being put over the Lying From You instrumental, and it's very enjoyable. And of course, you have, Linkin Park singing over their own instrumental here as well, which works nicely. And it's just a very solid song and a great way to start off this project, and it's a song that lets you know right from the start that this kind of combination here, despite the fact that right off the bat you may not think it works out very well, actually does work out better than you may think. This could also be seen on probably the most popular song from this EP, the Numb and Encore kind of mashup. That's another thing about this EP. I know I'm getting kind of sidetracked here, but the naming for these tracks is just like the names of the songs stitched together with like slashes between them. Like, I would have thought it would be a cool idea, like maybe combine the names of the songs in like a creative fashion, or like take lyrics from the songs and combine them in a creative way or something like that. Maybe that's just a really stupid idea, but you know, it's my idea and it's my channel, so I'm gonna say it. Yeah. That just kind of annoys me when reading off these song titles here. But back to that track, the Numb Encore kind of remix fusion here. Arguably the most popular song here on the EP. To this day, I still hear it occasionally get radio play, which is kind of a cool thing to think that, you know, these songs are getting radio play to some degree. And this song, I just really like how they kind of take the numb instrumental, and throughout most of the song, it's just Jay-Z kind of rapping over the numb instrumental, which is also kind of remixed as well. And the lyrics of the original encore track, which I have heard, and I didn't really like the instrumental quite as much on that track as I do like him rapping over this instrumental here. I actually like him rapping over this instrumental a bit better. I think it just kind of works better. And at the end of the song, you have Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, his vocals over the track itself, like it normally is on the typical track. And it sounds pretty good there as well. It's overall, I can understand why it's the most popular song from the album, because it's not super aggressive or in your face or anything like that. It has that perfect kind of blend of the Linkin Park instrumental with Jay-Z's rapping over it, and it just works very nicely. It has all the elements that you would really kind of want from this project, and it's another song that really shows why this combination could work very well. Another highlight, and probably my favorite song here on the project, is the last track, the Points of Authority, 99 Problems, One Step Closer kind of remix mashup, which is just really cool because, like I said before, it features two Linkin Park songs kind of being mashed up here. And it starts off with Jay-Z kind of rapping over the Points of Authority instrumental, only instead of the typical startup of the song where you have Mike Shinoda rapping his very well-known verse there. You got Jay-Z rapping his very well-known 99's Problems, which is probably one of my favorite songs from him. So, it just works out really well that happens to be one of the songs that's being, mashed up here with these two Linkin Park tracks. And he just sounds really energetic here. And you get Mike Shinoda also delivering a verse here as well, which is really cool. And then later on in the song, the instrumental switches up from the Points of Authority instrumental to the One Step Closer instrumental. And I really like the switch up here. It sounds very natural, and it sounds very, organic, I guess you would say. It doesn't sound forced, and it kind of makes sense to a degree because all the instrumentals on Hybrid Theory, the album that these two tracks are from, they all have a similar sort of sound to them. So kind of remixing them and putting them together works out pretty well. And then I like how when it changes up, Jay-Z's still rapping over the different beat this time, and it still sounds just as good. And in the part where, in the original version of One Step Closer, Chester, he does the whole shut up screaming part, that they keep that part in it. It just sounds really cool at the end of the track. And it's just a really awesome song in my opinion. If you haven't checked it out for whatever reason, you definitely need to check this song out because it perfectly combines the aggressive nature of the earlier Linkin Park material. It shows Mike Shinoda's rapping ability, Chester's screaming ability, and Jay-Z's rapping ability as well, all on this one track. And it's really cool. Even though it is made up of previously existing songs, just the way that they managed to combine it together is really awesome. Despite the fact that I enjoyed the majority of the tracks here on this project, there are also some songs that I'm just not the biggest fan of, to be honest. Take the second track, the Big Pimpin' Paper Cut mashup, which, I'm not a big fan of because, just personally, while I do feel like the majority of the tracks here on this project managed to mix up the instrumentals and the vocals from the different artists respectively in a very nice manner, I don't think it quite works as well on this one. Just the whole Linkin Park vocals over the Big Pimpin' beat just doesn't really work out as well as I would like. It just sounds a bit awkward in my opinion, and it's easily the most awkward kind of standout moment here on this project because it doesn't feel quite as natural. And there's no part in the song where the beat kind of switches up to the Paper Cut beat or anything like that, which is also kind of disappointing because Paper Cut's one of my favorite Linkin Park songs, and I would have liked hearing Jay-Z maybe rapping over that instrumental, but just the actual beat of Big Pimp in the song itself I do enjoy, and the actual vocal part from Paper Cut I enjoy as well. Like I said, it's one of my favorite Linkin Park songs, but just the way they're kind of mashed up together I don't think worked quite as well as some of the other songs here on the project. But overall, that's just a really minor complaint in the grand scheme of this project because it is just one track out of the 6 here, and it's not like it's an awful track or anything like that. It is still very enjoyable, and it still does match up better than I think most people would have imagined something like this working out, to be honest. Overall, this album or EP, whatever it is, I like how they're able to combine these two artists, which are different respectively. One's kind of of course, a sort of new metal, alternative metal, kind of rap metal band. At least at the time, that's kind of what sound they had. With a more typical hip hop artist, kind of mashing those sounds together, was definitely sort of a newer, not necessarily hadn't been done before, but it was kind of new in a way that. We were actually taking previously existing songs and, mashing them together and making a new product out of that. And the new products that were made, all 6 of them happened to be pretty good. Some more than others, of course, but the ones that are really good, and I think they managed to really stand out. I like how they're able to take these two artists and, put them together on these tracks so naturally. Some of these songs, it feels like these parts of songs that were made completely different locations for completely different projects and things like that fit together in such a nice way that it's kind of surprising that they weren't intended to be together originally. Overall, I have to say this is a really enjoyable Linkin Park and Jay-Z collaborative project, and I'm just kind of disappointed in the fact that we haven't seen a project like this in the future since this has been released. This was released back in 2004. It's 2017 now as of when I'm recording this video, and I'm just kind of surprised that we haven't had like a Collision Course 2 or something like that, like with Linkin Park maybe doing this again with some new songs with maybe a different artist, or maybe just a different band trying something like this out, because this worked. This was successful. Like I said, the Numb Encore kind of mashup did get a lot of radio play, and it was very successful. This EP was not like a flop or anything. That's kind of why it's surprising me that we haven't gotten something like this again in the future. But you know, that's just one of my many disappointments going throughout all these years of things that we'll never get in music, like, you know, many other albums that we'll never get to see, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a good project, like I've just pretty much been alluding to this whole time. And if you haven't checked it out for whatever reason, maybe it's because you're a Linkin Park fan and you're not a Jay-Z fan, or maybe it's because you're a Jay-Z fan and not a Linkin Park fan, you definitely need to check this out, because it's an interesting project for sure. Even if it's not your favorite thing in the world, it's definitely interesting at least. And overall, I would recommend it. And if you enjoyed this video, I greatly appreciate it if you'd leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future Linkin Park reviews that will be coming out soon, as well as just new music reviews in general, as well as other music-related content and some film reviews as well, things like that. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, follow me on all my social medias accounts that are linked in the description below. Check out that Linkin Park playlist I was talking about before. Comment below, and stay golden.